We want to discuss masculine energy, feminine energy. I do want to start with kind of a news framing, which is that women's rights across the country, especially black women's rights, they're under attack. Lots of laws are banning abortions. They are regulating what we can and cannot do with our bodies. What do you think happens for black women when this type of siege is at play and we don't feel we have anyone to protect us?
Right. Well, the first thing I think we do is we go into anger. We go into anger without a clear ask. It doesn't make sense to be angry unless you've got to ask. What is it that you're asking for? People can say anything in the world, but that doesn't mean that they get a right to do it. It doesn't mean that they get a right to affect you. But because so many of us are programmed and conditioned and educated to think like men, we respond like men. And when I mean men, I don't mean two-legged beasts. I mean in the masculine energy, and it becomes competitive, it becomes aggressive, it becomes againstness. And that's not who we are as women. It just isn't. And I think for black women, particularly for us, the way that we've been programmed and conditioned and educated in the society to expect less, to accept less, to be angry and to complain, but to not really step into our authentic self, our authentic power as women, and create what we want, even if that's create the demand. Oh, no, not here, not today.
Okay, I hear you articulating, Iyanla, this masculine energy traits, the competitiveness, the assertiveness. Tell me how you would frame feminine traits. Aggressive. Okay.
Grace.
Aggressive.
Yeah, aggressive, not assertive. It's okay for a woman to be assertive. Grace, first of all. I think we've lost our grace. We move in such a harsh and hard way. Grace, compassion, nurturing, nourishing, elegance. How about majesty? How about divinity? How about holiness? This is not a language you hear coming out of most women's mouths. But they talk about being a boss, being a diva, being, in charge.
What it do? This is your brother Bishop of Bishop's Own TV. And today, man, I got to talk about this Eboni K Williams and Iyanla Vanzant interview. Because it was so funny watching it, because Eboni K Williams' facial expressions while Iyanla was talking was said everything to me. It said every and anything to me. And it showed that, or let me say this, it was funny hearing Iyanla say those things to Eboni and seeing Eboni K Williams' reactions, because you can see it through her face. She didn't like what she was saying, but she just shut up and was like, I just got to sit through this and hear what she has to say. Even when she said she agreed with certain things that Iyanla was saying, I personally don't think she was being genuine when she said she agreed with some of the things that she was saying. I don't think she was genuine at all. And I could tell she wasn't genuine because when she was squirming, she had this nervous tick with her neck anytime Iyanla talked. And the reason why, because when you listen to Iyanla speak, when you listen to her speak about women, and particularly black women, doesn't it sound like someone we all know? Doesn't it sound like someone who passed away not too long ago? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mr. Godfather himself, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Let's give it up. Yes, Iyanla Vanzant was sounding like Iyanla Samuels. Yes, and I'm not saying that she took her words or she took things from Kevin Samuels, but it's obvious When you look at some of the things that some of these sisters say publicly, including Eboni K Williams, it's some masculine energy there. It's some misdirection. It's some hatred with not only self, but with black men. And it's a lack of accountability. It's a lack of accountability. And Iyanla, in her way, basically was calling Ebony out. She was basically calling this woman out. And even after the interview, even when she was disingenuous and saying, well, I agree with you, I'm going to take it all in, because I understand these things don't happen overnight. To be fair to Ebony, it takes a while. It takes a while to digest what was said and then apply it to self for to better yourself. Those things don't happen overnight. I get it. But to show how disingenuous she was when she was, quote unquote, taking it all in, she doubles down on certain things that she said in the interview that are condescending to black men, like the mediocrity line. People can say what they want about Kevin Samuels, and people call Kevin Samuels a misogynist. They say he was a misogynist. He hated black women, this, that, and the third. That's why so many black women celebrated this man's death like he was Hitler. They celebrated this man's death like he was Hitler because they perceived him to be misogynist and they perceived him to hate black women and spread this hate amongst black women. But here you have Ebony labeling men mediocre, working black men mediocre. And look, I'm not faulting her for saying, look, I don't want to be with this particular man because, hey, I'm in a certain tax bracket and this is what I prefer. But then to go over and beyond and say this man is mediocre, or say anybody in that position is mediocre, and then double down on it, and then act as if that wasn't an insult. It's just beyond bullshit. It's beyond cringe. And it's problematic. But you have to understand, like she said, she grew up without a father. So she doesn't have a good example of what a black man is. And she definitely has resentment towards black men. Again, look at the nervous tick. Look at her neck. Look at her neck and her facial expression throughout the interview. Look at those facial expressions right there. Look at that neck. She's twitching. She can't sit still. That shit is uncomfortable. What Iyanla was saying was uncomfortable because it reminded her of Kevin Samuels. She was probably one of the women that was celebrating Kevin Samuels' death. Her, Vivica A. Fox. By the way, these are all older, single black women too. Successful. They're successful in their own right, but they're single. And they want a man. They want to be in a relationship. But just for some reason though, and these are attractive black women too. Physically, not like internally, they're not. But they can't get a man. And look at this, think about it. These are B-list celebrities. So they have some type of influence. That's an easy layup to get a relationship, yet they can't get a relationship. It's not the men, it's y'all. Y'all have y'all own issues that you need to sort out. So it was just funny to me to see Iyanla say these things when Kevin Samuels has been saying have been saying these things for years, and a lot of people have criticized him for it. What is it? Is it the way he said it? Well, if it's the way he said it, did you still take what he said and say, you know what? He is making some sense. Because who better to say it than someone who deals with black women on the opposite side? Because I read some of the comments, and a lot of black women were agreeing with Iyanla. But if you listen to Iyanla verbatim, it sounds exactly like Kevin Samuels. Exactly like Kevin Samuels. She's talking about black women behaving more masculine, which really struck a nerve with Ebony. Because, and I'm going to say this, a lot of black women, and this is not an attack on black women, all black women. I love black women. I'm married to a black woman. I have black girls who will eventually become black women. But the point being is this. Kevin Samuels possessed Iyanla. And Iyanla was giving her that work. And she wasn't feeling that. But Iyanla was doing it in her motherly, graceful way. So she wasn't personally attacking Ebony. But she was basically saying, you need to get your shit together. And black women who think like you, y'all need to get y'all shit together. Y'all need to hold yourselves accountable. Y'all are at fault too. Because a lot of these platforms have publicly been calling out black men left and right. And to even call out, like, it's, and then if you call out black women on their shit, if you call black women out on their shit, I'm not saying all black women, but I'm saying a specific type of black women on their shit, then you're a misogynist. You're being unfair. How dare you question and criticize black women? This is black girl magic. How dare you do that? All the things that we've been through. And you're going to sit there and criticize us? We're not protected. We're the most vulnerable women in the country. You know, y'all use that Malcolm X quote so often out of context just so you can avoid accountability for some of your missteps. We all have them. I have them. But you have them too. And that sister, Eboni K Williams, 40 years old and single, successful in what she does, but clearly has some problems going on. And so, again, I just want to comment on that because I just thought that was funny. Kevin Samuels was crucified for things that he said and how he done it, but mostly for what he said. That triggered a lot of women. Yet Iyanla might have said it more gracefully, but she was saying the same exact thing. The same exact things, y'all. You can't dispute that. Be honest to yourselves. I've lost YouTube subscribers whenever I make these pro Kevin Samuels videos. Don't get it twisted. I didn't agree with everything the brother said or how he did it, but he had a lot of valid points, a lot of valuable points. And he engaged with women. I shouldn't have to apologize for that. I shouldn't have to defend why I made certain Kevin Samuel videos. I think Iyanla's words pretty much confirmed my point, my stance. Because I want you to go in the comments. I want you to pop yourself in my comments and then try to act as if what she was saying is completely different than what Kevin Samuels have been saying to these women. I want you to say that. Please tell me that. Please lie to me and say what she's saying doesn't sound exactly like Kevin Samuels. All right, I think I proved my point more than enough. Let me know what y'all think. If y'all disagree, let me know. We can have a conversation. All right, we can have a civil conversation. With that said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, holla.